Welcome back to my channel and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen. I'm a certified weight loss and nutrition coach, and today we are channeling our fall vibes. It is September, it is fall. It is fall in my book. In fact, I will be decorating my office for fall this next week, for Halloween this next week. I cannot wait. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. I just love fall in general. And I also love Starbucks. So today we're going to talk about all of the delicious Starbucks fall drinks that are released every single year, but I'm going to give you some hacks on how to make them a little bit healthier. Some of these Starbucks drinks can be hundreds upon hundreds of calories, loaded with sugar. So we're going to talk about how to still enjoy all of your favorite Starbucks fall drinks and make them a little bit healthier. So if you're excited, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, turn your bell on because I upload new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Down in the description box, I will have nutrition coaching. Highly recommend those personalized macros and calories. That is what I calculated for myself, and I have since lost 140 pounds and maintained that weight loss for almost 2 years. I'll also have discounts to all of my favorite healthy things. So let's talk about Starbucks fall drinks and how to modify them to still enjoy them, just make them a little bit healthier. The arrival of the Starbucks 2024 fall drinks is here. Like I said, fall's my favorite time of year, and I absolutely love Starbucks fall drinks. They're all incredibly delicious. But when I go to order them, especially on the app, and it tells me the calories, I almost panic sometimes because, like I said, these can be hundreds upon hundreds of calories, but really they're loaded with sugar and loaded with a lot of fat. They can really consume a lot of our daily calories, our fat, and put us over what's recommended for sugar daily in one drink. So I still want to enjoy the fall drinks because, like I said, they're my favorite. I just want to modify them and make them a little bit more healthy. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go through the Starbucks 2024 menu. We're going to make them a little less full of sugar, a little less full of fat, and a lot of less calories. Of course, we have to start with the PSL, the pumpkin spice latte. Now, I will tell you that Starbucks makes the best pumpkin spice latte, but Starbucks is also the highest calorie and highest sugar out there. In fact, this is the unhealthiest drink on the Starbucks fall menu. It has 390 calories, and that's in a grande. That's not the biggest size. That's in a grande. It has 14 grams of fat and 50 grams of sugar. That's about what's in a can of regular Coca-Cola. That is so crazy to me. Almost 400 calories and 50 grams of sugar in addition to 14 grams of fat in a grande. Now, a very small portion of the sugar comes from what's naturally found in milk, but we're talking about all of that added sugar. The whipped cream, the pumpkin spice syrup, all of this is what's really adding to the calories and the sugar. So there's a couple things that you can do to make this a little bit healthier and still enjoy your PSL. Number one, skip the whipped cream. There's zero reason to add whipped cream. It doesn't enhance the flavor of the drink overall. We typically just lick it off the top, so we can avoid the whipped cream and save ourselves some calories, fats, and some sugar. And we can also reduce the amount of the pumpkin spice flavoring. So we can still get all of the pumpkin vibes without so much of the flavoring. Just ask them for less than what comes standard in the drink. You can do half the amount of flavor and still get that PSL latte. And if you can even get less than half, get less than half. But start by asking for half the flavor and see if you still get all of the pumpkin spice vibes. I promise you, it doesn't really change the flavor very much, but you're going to save hundreds of calories and lots of fat and sugar in this drink. Now, the next drink I want to talk about is actually new to the menu this year. And this is the Apple Crisp non-dairy cream chai. Now you might be thinking, oh, it's non-dairy, that's a healthier option. Not necessarily. 16 ounce a grande of this has 46 grams of sugar, so almost as much as the PSL. In fact, as women, we should have no more than 25 grams of sugar per day, and as men, no more than 36 grams. This one drink almost doubles what's recommended daily for women. So again, you can ask this to be prepared half sweet, half the flavor. That's really going to help save calories and sugar. If you're someone that's like, listen, I want the sweetness, I need all the sweet vibes, just order a smaller one. Get the 12 ounce instead of the 16 ounce. That's going to have a big impact on the calories and the sugar. Staying on the Apple Crisp train, they also have an Apple Crisp oat milk Frappuccino. So Frappuccino basically means blended coffee, and I will tell you that Frappuccino in general is inherently really high in calories and sugar. And this one's real bad. This is really bad. In a 16 ounce, there's 420 calories, 60 grams of sugar. So this drink has the most sugar of any that we've talked about so far, 70 grams of carbohydrates, and 15 grams of fat. Wow. This is the amount of calories, fat, carbs that you would find in a good sized meal. This is just a drink that I would probably skip, to be honest. I think the other drinks on this menu, even though they're not the healthiest, are better options than this one. But if you really want this Frappuccino, I would recommend swapping out the oat milk for whole milk. Oat milk has quite a bit of added sugar and no protein, where you can swap it out for whole milk. And yes, you're going to get a little bit more fat, but you're also going to get some protein and a lot less sugar. Because of the fat and the protein, this will help slow that sugar spike you're going to get from those 60 grams of sugar. Next up is the pumpkin cream cold brew. Now this is so good. I love the pumpkin sweet cream. It's delicious. Now this is a slightly healthier choice, which is good news because it's probably my favorite on this list. A grande has about 250 calories, 12 grams of fat, and 31 grams of sugar. So there's still a lot of sugar in this drink, but substantially less than the other ones we've talked about. A cold brew tends to have a lot less ingredients than the other drinks on the list. That's what's going to help you with the calories. Now the fat content, the saturated fat content, that's kind of the concern in this drink, and that's because the cold foam is typically made out of heavy whipping cream. There's also vanilla syrup in here, so instead of 2 pumps, ask for 1. Lower the amount of sugar, lower the amount of syrup. Ideally, you would skip the pumpkin cream cold foam altogether and just have a cold brew with some vanilla flavoring, but we love a pumpkin spice cold foam, so you could ask for less pumpkin spice cold foam, or again, you can get sugar-free vanilla instead of regular vanilla, or ask for half the vanilla syrup. That's really going to cut down the sugar. Now this is still going to be a saturated fat heavy drink, but it's really truly one of the healthiest on the menu. Next up is the hot apple crisp oat milk macchiato. So back to the apple crisp, also contains oat milk. 320 calories in this one, 29 grams of sugar, so the least amount of sugar on the list, and 10 grams of fat. It's also very, very high in caffeine. This one is the highest caffeine drink with 170 milligrams in a 16 ounce. If you had 2 of these, you would have your complete caffeine intake for the day. And because it has 29 grams of sugar, you're kind of setting yourself up for a blood sugar spike. Now, most of the sugar in this drink actually comes from the apple brown sugar syrup that's added, and the spiced apple drizzle, which by the way is so good. But what you can do, similar to these other drinks, is ask for half the amount of flavor and half the drizzle. Or if you don't love the drizzle and it doesn't enhance your overall taste of your beverage, skip it. Skip it. Kind of like the whipped cream, it's not a necessity for the drink. And again, similar to the last oat milk drink, swap out your oat milk for whole milk. You're going to get less sugar, some protein, and some fat, which is going to help keep you full, and again, slow that sugar spike. And if you're sensitive to caffeine, you may want to ask for decaf or a half caffeinated, half decaf. Next up is the pumpkin spice Frappuccino. Again, one of those blended drinks. This particular drink has the most sugar on the menu on today's list, and that's 65 grams of sugar in a grande, and it has 420 calories. A venti, if you're a venti girl, 510 calories and 80 grams of sugar. 80. So let's put this into some perspective. It's roughly double the sugar content and 3.5 times the calories found in a 12-ounce can of regular Coca-Cola, which only contains 39 grams of sugar and 139 calories. That's pretty concerning, calorie-wise and sugar-wise. Now, there's some modifications you can make, but they're only going to slightly make this a little bit healthier. One thing you can do is opt for skim milk instead of regular milk. But even with this modification, this drink is still really high in calories, really high in sugar. In fact, this drink has more calories and sugar than most baked goods like cupcakes, cakes, cookies, etc. Really, the most effective way to lower the amount of calories and sugar is just order a smaller size. Do not get the venti, do not get the grande. Go ahead and get the 12-ounce, the small one. Enjoy every sip of it, but this is really going to help save you calories and lots of sugar. You can actually cut 220 calories and 36 grams of sugar by getting the 12-ounce. Next up is another apple crisp. This is the iced apple crisp oat milk macchiato. So we talked about the hot macchiato. This is the iced version. A grande is 310 calories, 34 grams of sugar. Just because it's packed with calories absolutely does not mean you're going to be satisfied when consuming this. High sugar drinks like this are really easy to overconsume. We can have one and then a little bit later in the day have another one. And similar to the other one, the hot one we talked about, a lot of your calories are coming from the apple brown sugar syrup and the drizzle. So similar to the hot version, ask for half the amount of syrup, skip the drizzle if it doesn't enhance your your overall experience with the drink, and just limit yourself to one of these every so often rather than one daily. Next up is the iced pumpkin cream chai latte. This drink is a little bit concerning. It's a little bit concerning calorie-wise, sugar-wise, and fat-wise. A 16-ounce is 460 calories, so the most caloric dense of all of the drinks. 17 grams of fat, so the most fat, and 66 grams of sugar, the most sugar. This has more sugar than the Frappuccino. It has the most calories, the most fat, and the most sugar. More than 150 of the calories in this drink comes from fat. And a lot of that fat is coming from the foam topping, that creamy topping. You can omit that and still have a delicious iced pumpkin chai, and that's going to save you a lot of calories, fat, and added sugar. You could also ask for your pumpkin cold foam topping light. So maybe half the amount. Instead of an inch, ask for half of an inch. Again, that's going to reduce the overall calories. And again, opting for a smaller size is going to save you about 120 calories, and you still get to enjoy your favorite fall drinks from Starbucks. Next up is one of my favorite drinks. I absolutely love this. This is the iced apple crisp shaken espresso. And this one contains oat milk. So this one actually has the least amount of calories on the list. And like I said, makes me happy because this is one of my favorites on the menu. In a grande, it has 180 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, and 21 grams of sugar. So it still has a good amount of sugar, but it's pretty low in fat and pretty low in calories. However, it's still liquid calories. And the problem with liquid calories in general is our brain and our stomach don't connect the same way and trigger that we've consumed a meal. So oftentimes we can drink our calories and still eat the same amount of calories because liquid calories typically don't fill us up like actual food does. So that's where liquid calories can become a problem. Luckily, this one's only 180 calories, but that's still a lot of calories every day in the form of a liquid. This is, like I said, the healthiest one on the menu, but you can make it a little bit healthier by just asking for half the amount of the flavor. I typically do that. I ask for half the flavor and I really don't notice much difference. You're going to cut down those calories and cut down the sugar. And another quick simple swap is taking out the oat milk and adding in regular milk. Again, giving you some protein and taking out even more sugar since oat milk is high in sugar. So that's the fall 2024 Starbucks menu. And what's the takeaway from today's video? You should never demonize these drinks. Everything in moderation. You can have all your favorite Starbucks drinks during the fall season. It's just important to keep moderation in mind. Should you have these every day? Probably not. Should you have these once or twice a week? Absolutely. Making those healthy swaps, just eliminating some of the added sugar, the added fat, maybe getting a smaller size. All of those are really simple things that we can do to still enjoy our favorite fall drinks from Starbucks. You can bet I'll be having a lot of these this fall season. I'm just going to make them a little bit healthier. So I hope this video helped you. If you love Starbucks and you love their fall menu like I do, this is just a simple way to still have your favorite things and just consume a little less calories, a little less fat, and a lot less sugar. Let me know down below which one of these is your favorite fall drink, and are you going to make these modifications the next time you hit up your local Starbucks? And if you enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, turn your bell on so you never miss a Tuesday or Thursday video, and down in the description box I will have nutrition coaching as well as links and discounts to my favorite healthy things. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.